The European and the American and the Japanese society, what they call the trilateral world. This is the world that is prancing about in the land. And we're in the midst of it. We are in the house of Pharaoh. Like Musa, who came out of the house of Pharaoh to call Bani Israel, to call them to freedom. We are in the house of Pharaoh here in this country. We have to recognize that. We are only a threat. As an aqeedah and as a movement, we are a threat to the injustices and the oppressions of this society. In the same way that the Prophet ﷺ was only a threat to that mala, that small group, whereas the vast majority of people, how much they benefited. And even if that small group had an ounce of intellect, they would have recognized, as the Prophet ﷺ said, if you say this kalima, you will rule the Arabs by it, O Quraysh, and the Ajam will become subjugated to you. But they were too short-sighted, and so they fought him. And when this man Uqba ibn Mu'ayt, wal-'iyadu billah, when he poured the entrails of a sheep onto the Prophet ﷺ while he's in sajda before the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all of the mu'mins on that day were so frightened because they had no power and they were helpless and weak. And Fatima az-Zahra, the daughter of the Messenger of Allah, goes and raises off that entrails from the Prophet in his sajda. And the Prophet ﷺ made dua against those people. He made dua against those people. And Ibn Mas'ud said, Wallahi, each person he named by name, I saw them killed on the day of Badr. So the truth must manifest itself. But we have to recognize these stories and these difficulties are reminders. They are not stories that we should read as if they happened some long time ago. They are reminders of the eternal struggle between falsehood and truth. This is an eternal struggle. And the Prophet ﷺ, as Muawiyah said, Al-harbu baynana sijal. This war between us is a war one day for you, one day against us. And then, on the Yom of Uhud, when Abu Sufyan shouts out, he says, هذا اليوم لذاك اليوم. This day for Badr. And Umar radiallahu anhu, as he's inspired, Al-Mulhim, says, لا والله قتلانا في الجنة وقتلاكم في النار. Our dead are in the Jannah and your dead are in the fire. And this is the reality of Islam, that those who struggle in this path of Allah are the people of Jannah, and those who turn away from this path are the people of fire, as Allah and His Messenger have clarified to us. And then the last thing that I will remind you is that the munafiqun are enemies of the Muslims. They are enemies of the Muslims. So we are tried by people who do not believe in us. But we also have allies from those people, and we should recognize that and respect those people. There are allies from the non-Muslims. And this is at the time of the Prophet. Abu Talib was an ally of the Prophet ﷺ. He was not a Muslim, he did not become Muslim. There were other people that allied with the Muslims and helped the Muslims. And we know that. And when the Jewish man came out on the day of Uhud to fight with the Prophet, he said, هَذَا خَيْرُهُمْ. This is the best of him. Because they had a promise with the Prophet that they would fight, and the other ones, they went out. So we have allies, and we should help those people. We should not make tanfir, because those people need to be drawn close to the Muslims. Those people need, but we should be sagacious. The Prophet ﷺ said, Al-mu'minu kayyisun fatinun thulathahu taghafil. The mu'min is intelligent and sagacious, and 2/3 of him is pretending not to understand. In other words, it means that we should not allow people to lead us into their traps. Like the spider leads the victims into the web. We should not allow people to do that to us. We should be intelligent people. When issues happen, we have to be aware that we need to think and reflect on these things. We have to do this. So these people were opposing the Prophet ﷺ, and from them was Abu Lahab, who is the uncle of the Prophet ﷺ, one of the closest people by blood to this man. And look at Abu Lahab, whose face was red like fire, and his wife Jamil, who's Qadiyah. They called her Jamil, which means the possessor of beautiful things. And this woman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals in them the things that they did to the Prophet. When the Prophet gathered them all together, and he said, Wallahi, إِنَّ الرَّائِدْ لَا يَكْذِبُ أَهْلَهُ, that the one who leads the caravan will never lie to the people to lead them astray. And he said, Wallahi, in kadhabtu ala nasi jami'an, lama kadhabtu alaykum. If I would have lied to all of humankind, I would never have lied to my family. Wa in gharartu an-nasa jami'an, lama gharartu ahli. If I would delude the whole of humankind, wa hasha lahu. If I would delude the whole of humankind, humankind, I would never do it with my own family. And he said, Wallahi, inni nadirun. Baina adab alim, I'm warning you of a approaching punishment, a great punishment. And Abu Lahab said, Ali hada jama'atana, do you call us to tell us about this? And mocks him, mustahzi'un. وَكَفَيْنَاكَ الْمُسْتَهْزِئِينَ. Allah says, I will take care of the mustahzi'een. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Prophet, if you look, many of the ayahs in the Quran are for these mu'mineen that were undergoing incredible duress and suffering because they were spreading this message. So in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا يَقُولُونَ. Be patient about what they're saying. وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا يَقُولُونَ. وَهْجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا. وَذَرْنِي وَالْمُكَذِّبِينَ أُولِي النَّعْمَةِ. These were the people at Mela. They were the high people of Quraysh that were doing this. Not the low people, not the humble people. These were the Mela, the Wujaha. That's what they're called in the Quran. And they denied the prophets before them. They denied Shu'aib, and they denied Ibrahim, and they denied all of these people. So these people were denying the Prophet ﷺ, and they were trying to prevent people from coming. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, just فَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا يَقُولُونَ. Just be patient about what they're saying. Why? Because this cannot harm you. If they're not physically harming you, then be patient about what they say. Allah will take care of them. Allah will take care of them. And then He's told them, وَهْجُرْهُمْ هَجْرًا جَمِيلًا. Turn away from them in the best way. وَإِذَا خَاطَبُهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. And when the ignorant people call or speak to them, what do they say? Peace. They say peace. And this is the nature of Islam. It teaches, يُرَبِّي الْإِنسَانَ عَلَى الصَّبْرِ. This is the nature. It nurtures a human being to be patient. And so this whole period for 13 years, undergoing this incredible thing. If you look at Nadr ibn al-Harith, who was a shaitan, similar to, you can see him like media now, the role of the media, like television and these things. Because when the Prophet ﷺ would call people and tell them about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and about the akhirah, he used to sit and he would say, Halumma, come over here, عندي قصص أجمل من قصصه. I have more beautiful stories than his stories. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals, man, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْتَرِي لَهْوَ الْحَدِيثِ لِيُضِلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. That there's people from humankind that will spend their money on lahwa al-hadith, just vain talk, entertainment, to debar people, to take them away from the sabil of Allah. These people we know in this culture, the media, and now in the Muslim countries, because this spider's web has encompassed the whole globe. The people in the Muslim countries now are filled with television. Look at Ramadan. Shaitan is tied up during Ramadan according to the mu'mineen, but don't forget, this is shaitan al-jinn. We also have shaitan al-ins. And these people are more difficult and more harmful on the mu'mineen than shaitan al-jinn. These people don't get chained up during Ramadan. They get angry, they get vicious. These people now in the Muslim countries, Ramadan is the time when they put all the new television programs, like here it's September. After the summer reruns, it's September. In the Muslim country, Ramadan. Why? Because they don't want them in the masajid praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't want people's ruh to come alive. They want to kill their intellects and kill their hearts and kill their spirit with what? Lahwa al-hadith. And they spend vast amounts of money on this. They spend vast amounts of money on this to make one film. How much money do they do? And this is like Nadr ibn al-Harith. This is what he did. He used to purchase women who sang beautiful songs, and he would put them on the path to the people going to listen to the Prophet ﷺ. And some of the weak ones would stop and listen. And this is what they do. It's not, the techniques have changed, you see. But it's still the same thing. The Quran is giving us archetypal structures whereby we can understand the nature of reality. The names have changed, right? The names have changed. But Pharaoh is still there. Haman is still there. All of these, they just have different names. Now Henry Kissinger, or so-and-so, or so, see, but it's still the same. If you look in the dictionary under Taghut, in Feiruzabadi, he has 3 definitions. The first is any excessive thing from an idol or a diviner or somebody that's worshipped other than Allah. And then he says, Al-Maradatu min Ahl al-Kitab, the rebellious from the people of the book. And then he says, Ka'ab ibn al-Ahbab, who was a big shaitan from the Jews in Khaybar. And he is called Taghut because the Quran reveals this about this man.